Thanks for tuning in for today's version of Critical Experiences That Elevate Your Career. I'm sitting here with Lisa Tirino, who's going to give us insight into business-facing roles.
Thanks, Jay. My name is Lisa Tirino, and I've been in the food industry for 10 years, currently the Senior Manager of Innovation at Ocean Spray Cranberries. And my education started as technical at Cornell University with a bachelor's in food science, went on to the business world and went for a master's at Purdue in agricultural economics and also an MBA in strategy at Kelley Business School.
Perfect. So Lisa, when did you first realize that you wanted to begin moving into more of a business-facing role, given that you did have a technical background?
Yeah, I would say very early on. Even in my undergraduate studies, I had thought that I wanted a business focus. So actually, while I was at Cornell, I gained a minor in business. Okay. In applied economics and management particularly. So always had that business focus.
Perfect. And how do you feel that business experience has helped you with your interaction, not only from a product developer standpoint, but interacting with people in sales and marketing?
Yeah, for sure. I think it has helped me tremendously grow my career and advance through the ranks and learn new things. And it is really stemming from a couple of key focus areas for me, and most being perspective. I think that the broader perspective and the understanding of the consumer and the why we're launching products, why we're developing new concepts for the market has been tremendous and helpful in my interactions with the business team. Second, I would say communication. Being able to collaborate with the business coming from a technical perspective and being able to almost speak two different languages, right? You have the technical language where we talk about the art of things that are possible versus, the more business savvy talk around, what we can actually bring to market and what we can execute and where the consumer is coming from. So bridging that gap between the technical language and the business language has been my area of expertise for my career.
Perfect. And for individuals who maybe have already ventured into a technical role out of school, but now they want to begin to make a pivot towards getting experience with more business-facing roles, do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I would say, if you're on a technical team and you have some business folks you could reach out to, gain those allies within your company, within your role, and ask them to be a part of a project or be a part of developing the strategy. Can you attend a focus group? Get closer to the customer, get closer to the consumer. Find ways to participate in maybe the P&L formation when you're submitting your formula costs. Hey, could we go through the full P&L? So just that curiosity and let that passion be known. I would also encourage technical folks to look for business trainings. So maybe your company offers a training that wouldn't be normally available or you wouldn't know about. So talk with your marketing, sales, finance counterparts, wherever area you're interested in, to see if those things are there. And finally, I would encourage taking some courses. A local university may have a few courses you could get to know a little bit more about the business world with some general information.
Perfect. And what about comparing the experiences you get in your current position, if you're a technical role, and beginning to do exactly what you just said, starting to get invited to these focus groups or getting experience that way, versus kind of jumping all in and doing an MBA?
Yeah, I would say definitely understand where your passions lie. Do you get excited when you interact with those consumers? Do you get excited? Where do you feel the most passion in your career? And this can help sort of guide you onto where you should focus and where you should start. Jumping straight into an MBA, I would say give it a couple of years and get that experience under your belt in the industry before you go out, because you'll have that much more perspective and added value to that MBA experience. And your colleagues in your MBA and your business school will have had some experience from a different perspective as well. And they say half of business school is your network and what you learn from each other. So I would encourage taking the time, expressing the interest, and picking up little skills here and there as you go around to your cross-functional partners.
And in your career, what do you feel has been some of the most critical experiences that you've had, whether it be changing jobs, going back to school, conferences where you meet people? Is there anything that really stands out as something you view as critical in your business-facing role?
Yeah, for sure. So getting out to consumers and customers, I can't stress enough, but one of the most impactful meetings I had was when I was pitching to a buyer, right? And I was in that sales position as an R&D technical perspective, and I already had picked up MBA. I had already had, a lot of interaction with the business teams, but at the same time, it got real when I was pitching to a buyer for our products, and that was just a very eye-opening experience because I had to sell them on a product that I designed and formulated, but also carried through, from concept to the shelf, and I was asking them to buy into that idea. So it just sort of came together where I had to talk about the reasons to believe for the consumer, why this was relevant and trendy in the market. And finally, the financial viability. So being able to talk from those different angles really made it a convincing proposition for them. And, that success was just something I reflect on. And I remember being in that room and hoping that, I was saying what they wanted to hear and they could understand where I was coming from. And it all worked out in the end because they did end up.
Perfect. Well, it sounds like you had an experience as a finalist on the Food Disruption Challenge almost, IFT's pitch competition.
Exactly.
Perfect. So is there any other advice you'd have for somebody who may be just out of school or soon to be out of school that would be encouraging for them to think about when they move into either their product development or technical position?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say be curious. Be passionate, try and understand different aspects of the role that you're playing and not just what you're doing, but also the outside influences and how maybe you can go above and beyond and connect the business ideas and really ladder up to the why you're doing the product development that you're tasked with, and don't look at it as a task, but really a holistic picture. Yeah. So keep those communication lines open and ask questions and, just go for it.
Perfect. Well, thank you for joining us, Lisa. This was business-facing roles for today's edition of Critical Experiences that Elevate Your Career. Thank you.